Commander James Chin stood at the observation deck of the Vanguard, humanity's flagship, watching the alien fleet descend through Earth's atmosphere. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from the weight of what was about to happen. For 50 years, humanity had conquered the stars with weapons drawn and flags planted. Now, faced with a civilization infinitely superior, he wondered if his species had made a terrible mistake. The Valerans were unlike anything humanity had encountered. Their ships moved with impossible grace, defying physics as humans understood it. When they hailed the Vanguard, their message was simple: we come not to conquer, but to understand. James had laughed bitterly at first. Every species humanity met had either fled or fought. The Valerans' peaceful overture seemed like weakness or deception. He had prepared for war, stockpiled weapons, and rehearsed attack strategies. But as the lead Valeran diplomat, Keldar, materialized on his bridge, James realized he had no protocol for this. Keldar was a marvel of evolution, a being of crystalline structures and bioluminescent patterns that shifted with each emotion. When it saw the weapons around the bridge, it pulsed with what James somehow understood as sadness. "You fear us," Keldar said, its voice like wind through valleys. "We expected this. Your species carries the marks of internal warfare. Your histories are written in blood." "We're survivors," James replied defensively. "We do what we must." "Yes," Keldar acknowledged. "But you do it so often that you have forgotten peace exists." Over the following weeks, James learned the truth. The Valerans had visited countless civilizations. They had not come with conquest or demands for submission. Instead, they brought something Earth desperately needed: perspective. Through Keldar, humanity learned that the Valerans had once been like them. Their ancestors had ravaged their world with the same weapons, the same hatred, the same justifications. They had stood on the brink of extinction and chosen differently. They had dismantled their weapons, rebuilt their systems, and discovered that cooperation created far more wealth and knowledge than conquest ever could. "You see yourselves as individuals competing for resources," Keldar explained during a broadcast watched by billions. "We learn to see ourselves as one organism. Your strength comes from unity, not division." The message resonated across Earth in unexpected ways. Historians pointed out that humanity's greatest achievements had come from cooperation: art, medicine, space exploration. Scientists working together had accomplished what soldiers never could. Yet somehow, governments still clung to military solutions, still hoarded weapons, still taught children that enemies were inevitable. When the Valerans offered to share technology, medicine that could eliminate disease, energy sources that could end scarcity, there was resistance. Military leaders demanded it be reverse-engineered as weapons. Politicians feared losing power. Religious leaders questioned the morality of accepting alien aid. But something changed in the hearts of ordinary people. They began to ask questions their leaders couldn't answer. Why did they need weapons if scarcity ended? What were they protecting if not resources? Who benefited from continued conflict? Within a year, the first global peace treaty was signed. Not because humanity had suddenly become noble, but because they finally understood the cost of not doing so. Keldar stood beside James as he signed the document, and the Valerans' form blazed with brilliant colors. "Your species has always possessed the capacity for peace," Keldar said. "You simply needed to see it reflected in another's eyes." James looked at his own reflection in the crystalline figure before him and barely recognized the man staring back. He was no longer a warrior preparing for conquest. He was a bridge between worlds, a symbol of humanity's final lesson, that we are strongest not when we stand against each other, but when we stand together. As the stars witnessed humanity's transformation, children grew up learning a different history, not of victors and vanquished, but of a species that chose growth over destruction. And somewhere in the cosmos, other civilizations watched and learned that even the most warlike could find peace. The age of human conquest had ended. The age of human cooperation had begun. Kindly like and subscribe channel. Thank you.